I feel like this Wednesday had a theme.
What's that?
And the theme was team.
Yeah.
Welcome to the midweek wrap-up.
Yeah, it wasn't until you put it that way, I was like, yeah, there was a lot of tag team stuff happening.
Tag team stuff on NXT and a lot of, like, faction fighting in the Lucha Underground.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Let's start with NXT, starting with the tag team. Fine.
Okay.
We'll start with Lucha Underground?
I don't know. Let's do NXT.
Okay, we'll start with NXT.
Let's not just
change it up 210 episodes in.
Yeah.
Even though we haven't been covering Lucha Underground that long. So yeah, we started off with Heavy Machinery defeating the Mighty. Had a distraction from the Street Profits towards the end. Street Profits also coming back to kind of get a little revenge on the Mighty. So the Mighty's tactics are coming back to bite them in the ass now. So
yeah, you piss off enough people and just bad news for you.
And we also found out that Shane Thorne can't decide whether or not he wants his jacket on his shoulders. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Then we continued on with the tag team matches where Moustache Mountain defeated Matt Knotts and his opponent. Quick squash match for Moustache Mountain, showing off their dominance. They then said that they had talked to William Regal and they are getting a rematch against the Undisputed Era at NXT Takeover Brooklyn. And a little while later in the show, they were warned by War Raiders, my bad, that regardless of who wins at TakeOver, the War Raiders are coming to take the NXT Tag Team titles. EC3 defeated Kona Reeves despite an attempted distraction by the Velveteen Dream, offering EC3 to come experience the Velveteen Dream, bask in his experience.
I'm going to be real. I don't think Velveteen was actually trying to screw over EC3 here.
No, he's
just Velveteen does what he wants on his own time.
He felt like that was the time for a conversation with EC3. All right.
That's the thing. He waited until he saw that EC3 was in control.
That's fair.
He didn't want to try and come out while EC3 was getting beat up.
True, you can't really get someone's attention if they're getting their ass kicked.
Yeah, so he waited until EC3 was firmly in control of the match, and then he came out and asked him "Hey man, you want to go get a cup of tea?"
Or, I don't think Velveteen drinks tea.
Oh yeah, he does.
Then he'd be the Velveteen Dream.
He drinks Velveteen tea.
All right. EC3 then said...
chocolate mint tea.
All right. EC3 then said that he will join Dream's Experience somewhere down the line. Not sure when that's happening, but we do know that they will have a match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Shayna Baszler defeated Candice LeRae. Had a little bit of an extra beatdown afterwards, and then Kairi Sane came out, and a couple of referees all stopped Shayna. Shayna still being a bitch and kicking Kairi in the back.
Well, she's trying to help Candice.
Yeah, messed up. Also at TakeOver, we're going to get Ricochet attempting to take the NXT North American Championship away from Adam Cole, baby! And Ricochet will be in action next week on NXT, as will the debuting Keith Lee.
Big boy.
Gonna be fun. And
what are he's going against?
I feel bad for whoever it is, to be completely honest.
Poor Fabian Eichner.
Or Raul Mendoza. It's gonna be one of those two.
You know what? We could be a bad day for Cesar Bononi.
I don't care that much about Cesar Bononi. The other two I care about.
Caesar salad bologna.
That's a whole other thing entirely. Tommaso Ciampa came out to rub it in everybody's face that he is the new NXT champion,
and also to rub the championship on his face
a few times. And he just got louder and more boisterous with what he was saying. Aleister Black decided to come down to the ring to give him a little bit of piece of his mind, but he was beat to the ring by a very fast Johnny Gargano, who chased Tommaso out into the crowd, made sure Tommaso knew that he was the reason that Tommaso was the NXT champion. Aleister Black was well aware and kicked Johnny in the face.
Yeah.
I smell a triple threat. Then we move on to Lucha
I hear a triple threat.
Maybe next week we'll see a triple threat.
No, probably TakeOver.
That's fine. But right now we're going to see what happened on Lucha Underground. Daga defeated PJ Black. Then we had an altercation between both the Worldwide Underground and the Reptile Tribe. And then there was a challenge put out by Cobra Moon. Going to have an Atomicos match next week, where if the Reptile Tribe win, Johnny has to pledge his allegiance to the Reptile Tribe and call Cobra Moon his queen. If Johnny and the Worldwide Underground win, Johnny apparently gets a wish because the queen of the Reptile Tribe is able to grant one wish. So we'll see how that goes next week. Katrina warned the Mac that Mil Muertes is coming after Mac kicked Muertes out of the Gift of the Gods match. Speaking of Gift of the Gods, Dragon Azteca Jr. is planning on keeping that belt until Ultima Lucha Cuatro. He is going to defend it for the entirety of Season 4.
He's also not going to take it off, he said.
Which is bullshit, because then he took it off and it was on his shoulder. So,
well, maybe that still counts. But I'm like, what if you have to wrestle?
Yeah.
That's going to get really cumbersome.
Yeah, he's not going to wrestle with that belt on. You just can't do that. But he plans on defending it all the way until Ultima Lucha Cuatro, to which he will win the Ultima Lucha, or the Lucha Underground Championship in the main event of Ultima Lucha. The Mac, Havoc, and Killshot retained the Lucha Underground Trios Championships from the Rabbit Tribe, despite there was a lot of infighting in this trio. Rabbit Tribe were working together really well.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Rabbit Tribe, like, stopping everybody from doing moves.
Yeah. They're doing a really good job, but then Killshot capitalized on a Mac frog splash and stole the win from the Mac. And then as they were heading out, Killshot made sure that both of them knew that he was the Trios champions. Not a Team Hell No type of thing. It's more like, I am this team.
Yeah.
And then in the main event, we had a tag team match where both Pentagon Dark and Cage got to pick their partners. Cage picked King Cuerno, and Pentagon Dark picked
Pentagon
Dark.
Jr.
Penta Cero Miedo.
Yeah.
It was a handicap match. And essentially it got to a point where Cage was like, okay, we're in the driver's seat now, Cuerno, you can leave. And Cuerno grabbed his stuff and he left, and Cage won the match.
Yeah.
And then followed that up with 2 concertos onto the champion's head. Cage definitely making sure he stays in that title picture. Just pissing off Pentagon Dark any way he can. And then before we went off, we had a very cinematic end to Lucha Underground where Johnny Jones...
This is becoming a theme that I kind of enjoy.
Is that they leave...
Where, yeah, there's little, like... There might be like a backstage segment or something, but the big like cinematic scenes are like being left till the end.
Yeah, it's the cliffhanger for the next episode. It was
new style. I like it.
It was Johnny Jones, Indiana Mundo, whatever you want to call him, and Taya sneaking into the Reptile Tribe's temple
from Indiana Slamtown.
Indiana Slamtown. I like that. They were roared at by Drago. They cut off the head of Vibora, and then told Drago that we were never here. So Vibora's probably not going to make it to that Atomicos match next week. I could be wrong. It's Lucha Underground. I don't know if the Reptile Tribe have a regenerative powers.
Some reptiles do.
I don't think snakes can regrow their heads.
Yeah. There's the thing. It's like I've heard of like animals like regrowing limbs.
Oh yeah,
like
a lot of lizards can regrow their tails. Yeah. Heads,
but I've never heard of anybody regrowing their head.
But it is Lucha Underground, and anything can happen.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It could be Vibora's one wish to get his head put back on.
Maybe it's Drago's. Drago is just so distraught after watching Vibora.
He didn't seem to care at all.
No,
actually.
He's stuck there with that chain around his neck.
Man, he's got some like crazy like. All his teeth are the same level.
Oh yeah. I feel like they're fake.
Yeah, they looked fake.
A little bit.
Got horse teeth.
That is it for what happened on the midweek wrap up. Kevin, what did you like?
I loved watching Moustache Mountain defeat.
We're talking about your like, not your love.
Well, I mean,
okay.
As far as the things I liked, I loved Moustache Mountain beating up his jobbers.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see Moustache Mountain just go out there and kick some ass. Plus, something about the jobbers kind of put me off, so it was even more exciting to watch them get their ass kicked.
Yeah, it looked like a really hairy Baron Corbin cosplaying as Lex Luger.
And then the War Raiders JV squad.
Yeah. Like, the guy who couldn't even, like, shouldn't be the wrestler of the War Raiders, but he should be their mascot. He is the James Ellsworth to the War Raiders.
Neither member of LOD thought that was funny.
Either that or they thought it was too funny. I'd like to believe that one.
Speaking of enjoying watching people kick ass, I enjoyed watching EC3 beat the hell out of Kona Reeves. I was real scared when Velveteen came out, but...
So you think Velveteen's going to get on your shit list?
Yeah, he almost did, but then Kona Reeves, being the dumbass that he is, couldn't put EC3 away, and EC3 won the match. So I was perfect.
I don't know that had to do with Kona being dumb. It just you know,
weak.
Yeah, he needs a better finisher than an almost Samoan drop and calling it a Hawaiian drop.
He's a bitch ass Ric Flair.
You know what he should do? He should just steal Lacey's punch.
Why?
Because he could call it the Hawaiian punch.
Oh no. Nope. Moving on. What'd you love? I didn't love that.
The Hawaiian punch joke.
That's my dislike. Spoiler.
You know what? I enjoyed Dogga versus PJ Black.
Yeah, that was a great match. Not enough PJ Black, not enough Dogga. Glad to see Dogga back for this season. Because he wasn't on much. I don't think he was on at all last season.
No.
So yeah, good to see both of them.
I
back.
was worried. You know, like I was like,
yeah.
Why is Dogga? Because he had that awesome feud with Tejano during season 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is kind of when you're like, yeah, this is one of my boys. Like,
yeah.
Dogga quickly became one of your favorites. Yeah, so it's good to see him back, and you know, PJ Black's always fun to watch. So put the two together. Plus, it was fun watching the whole faction fight afterwards. It's a lot of fun. That's one of my favorite things going on in Lucha Underground right now. But I think my love is going to go to Shayna versus Candice. You know, they had a great match in the Mae Young Classic. They brought a lot of that stuff back. Candice is starting to show more of her fire. Shayna gets a little bit of what she deserves every now and again, and it's it's not enough to really drop her down levels as far as like her being dominant in the women's division, because then she comes back and she's able to just be Shayna Baszler. But it's nice to see some of the the quote unquote underdog ladies of the roster give a little of what Shayna's been given to all of them. So it's nice to see Shayna get what she deserves every now and again.
This is where I feel like this is going to end up going. Is at some point, especially if she doesn't lose the championship to Kairi Sane,
right?
Takeover. At some point, there's going to be a moment where like Candice and Dakota Kai and Kairi and Nikki Cross and maybe Bianca Belair. Like,
essentially, Shayna becomes the mighty of the women's division.
Yeah,
she makes so many enemies.
All of the people she's like bullied will all come out together and like beat the crap out of her.
Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. I think it's starting to happen now because she barely took care of Nikki. Kairi doesn't like her. Candice doesn't like her. Dakota doesn't like her. So yeah, I definitely think it's on the verge of that now. Did you dislike anything? Did you just straight up hate anything?
Hate? I definitely wouldn't go as far as hating anything.
Me either.
No, not really. I mean,
I only had one thing that I could have done without.
Kona Reeves?
Who? No, Big Rick's skull hanging out in a locker. I didn't need that. That might have been the cheesiest thing that Lucha Underground's ever done. I don't
know those big fake spiders.
But we're supposed to believe that this skull with an eye patch and a cigar in its mouth is Big Rick's skull.
Yeah,
Big Rick hasn't been around for years.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's been dead.
Just been sitting in that locker.
No, not in that. Well, maybe because they just got to that locker this season. So, they're in a new temple, so maybe Mil Muertes killed Big Rick and has been hiding him in that freezer for so long. Because that's what the temple is. That temple's an old freezer.
Yeah, it's like a meat packing plant or whatever.
It's a place where they used to store beverages.
Oh.
It's like a beer and soda storage facility.
That's why
it's a refrigerated storage facility.
That's why they're sponsored by Modelo.
That's why there's all the beer adverts all over the whole arena. It's just splattered with beer advertisements.
It wasn't intended, but Modelo's like, well, shit, we're already there, so yeah, we'll give you some money.
Conveniently, all our logos fit exactly around the borders of your ring.
So yeah, why the hell not? The skull was all I could really do.
All right. I don't mind the cameo from Ryklon Jackson.
Ricklin.
No,
Nothing.
Yeah, no, not really. Here's the thing. It'll be a retroactive dislike.
Okay.
If Vibora doesn't come back next week. If by somehow his head doesn't get magically reattached, then I will dislike that he got his head cut off.
But what if he wrestles while holding his head?
I think it'd be hysterical if, he just came out with duct tape around his neck he, held on to his head with one hand the whole time.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying.
That'll be my love for sure next week.
If Vibora does not come back, then we go back in time, use Thomas's stuff.
I don't want to deal with that shit.
And then make that my dislike, that he got killed off.
But what if they have a bigger, stronger, more effective Undersnaker?
I just want him to come back with a
What if they have Super Snaker?
He just needs to come back with a slightly different mask and go by Luchasaurus.
He might.
Because, he already does.
Well, that's his indie name. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll find out next week on Lucha Underground. But for now, guys, that has been the midweek wrap-up. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click those links down below.
It is a lot of links that we have down there that you can click.
It sure is. There's also a podcast link.
That's the link that says SoundCloud.
And there's Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's reasonable with a W.
Like wrestling. Where we have The List with Kevin Hawk.
Hey, more episodes coming soon.
We got Question of the Week with Thomas Wolfe.
More episodes coming sometime.
When you're back on Mondays.
Yeah.
Because that's when we shoot that shit. Then there's also unboxing videos where we get cool shirts like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Micro Brawlers. Spoiler alert, we didn't pick Slam Crate, so Braun, you're the only one sticking around from that thing. And there are other videos that are loosely based around wrestling. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
I got a Band-Aid.
You know what you should write on it?
Fuck Modus. Yeah.